Hi, and welcome to Old for My Age with Cassie and Blake, who is me, Cassie.
And Blake, who is me.
Great job.
Thank you.
Welcome to a special edition episode of Old for My Age.
It's very spooky in here today, and I'm sure you can guess why.
Valentine's
Halloween.
Day.
What? Happy New Halloween giving. You're
It's
a
holiday
grand
time here
old flag,
in
you're a high
local.
flying.
It is holiday time here in local Florida town.
A holiday is about to be celebrated for sure.
Which holiday?
Who's to tell?
No idea. So, how was your week, buddy?
Let me tell you. Well,
I haven't seen you in so long.
you and I both know that's
we have
not true.
so much content.
We had a good week. A great spin class. Great 2 spin classes.
Yes, last week we did pretty good.
Karen, if you're listening, we'd love to invite you on. Karen came and talked to us.
That's right.
After the class.
Yeah. And you know what she said?
Which
She said your yawning was going to make me fall asleep.
Which means that she was looking at you.
I know.
Which, whew. I mean, she got off her bike and walked over to us, and I was like, oh my God. Oh my God, she's coming over here. She's coming over here. She's gonna talk to. What do we say? And I was like, bikes, spin, Karen.
Let the record show he did not say any of that.
That's what my
He went
brain.
and got a spray bottle and paper towels to wipe down our bike.
What is that spray bottle?
Who's to know?
You're not
It
wrong.
could just be more
now
sweat.
Now I'm a little worried. It's just more sweat.
Your sweat with other people's sweat.
What do you think about the people at the gym? I don't want to diss on people, but let's diss on some people.
I love it.
The people at the gym who take, if your gym does this, let us know in the comment section down below. They have a couple of tables throughout the gym that have paper towels.
Oh, and you're talking about the people who carry them.
Who carry it around. It's not yours. There's like 8 in the whole gym, and there's 37 of us there. Do the math.
Bold of you to assume that they didn't bring that from home.
I doubt it. You know why? Because I think the people who do carry it around would have done that and would have like clearly indicated by one of 2 things. Their name written on it or a picture of their grandkid. That gives you an idea of the demographic of people who come to our gym.
Listen, the one person listening to this podcast is going to think that we are gym rats.
We are. If you close our eyes and just imagine
we're not gym rats.
Peak human
we are
form.
Gym
This is
ferrets.
it, honey. This
Gym
is it.
ferrets.
Gym ferrets. Our ferrets are rodent.
And on with the show.
Really? That's it? That's where you want to stop? Alrighty. This is your time to shine, bucko. You should totally start. And a happy Arbor Day to you. What is a skeleton's favorite snack?
Ribs.
Ribs! Spare ribs!
No, I've seen the TikTok.
Time to introduce.
We ready?
Yeah.
It says who? Hey! This week's guest is my good friend Gavyn. Gavyn, introduce yourself.
I don't know if I would say good. My name's
Ouch.
Gavyn. By the way, guys, I love the Arbor Day decorations.
Yes, happy Arbor Day to you too.
It's quite authentic. I haven't seen this much of a attention to detail Arbor Day setup
It
in a long
is
time.
Leif Erikson Day.
Have you already cut down your 100-year-old tree?
Durgan?
I went ahead and did mine with my family.
See, I actually cut down a 200-year-old.
Oh, wow.
So
You overachiever. Are you making up for last year?
Well, yeah, it's a big Arbor Day this year.
Because last year was a 99-year-old tree, and you were kind of telling me.
No, I was dipping my foot in, like,
Yeah.
do I really want to commit to Arbor Day? But
Here you
no,
are.
this year I did it. Full stop.
Proud of you.
Thank you.
True red-blooded American.
Good job, buddy.
How do you know what color my blood is?
Anyway, Cassie, I know Gavyn from 2 walks of life.
Oh, nice.
1, director, producer, editor Josh. Good
Yeah.
friends with Gavyn. But also,
Again, wouldn't put good.
we are good friends.
No, we're not.
All right. Well,
We're acquainted,
we are acquainted. And we also went to high school together.
but I didn't know it. At
But
the
we
time.
didn't know it. I didn't know it either. I really didn't.
What a friend you are.
How does that happen?
This is
I'm-
exhilarating.
I'm that type of person that would also like, I would go somewhere and see someone and then be like, oh, no way, where do you work? And like go to that place of work and be like, oh, no way, you work here?
I literally told you I did.
Yeah, that's case in point. Exhibit A.
It's true. Unfortunately, I know both Josh and Blake here.
Unfortunately.
But yeah, I swear they know me just from a couple different
You've
walks
made it
of
this
life.
far. Yes, Your Honor, we are acquaintances. To answer your question, jury,
Anything that he or Josh does is not related.
I may or may not have been there. I don't know.
there's legal problems, it's not me.
If you don't want to hang out with me, you always have my brother.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
When he shows up.
When he shows up. Yeah. I was just going to say that. When and if he shows up to places, which is very spotty. Cassie, you've met Darren
I have.
probably the same number of times as Gavyn.
I doubt that.
Oh, no. I'd bet a buffalo
I think
nickel
I've
on it.
met him
You know how
twice.
much a buffalo nickel is?
Like probably 6 cents now
Yeah,
because of inflation.
You need to like be careful with that because that.
Don't spend it all in one
Right,
place.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Not
Don't go to your
like a
local
whole
area
buffalo
arcade
nickel.
and like waste them all at once. Heck no. A fool. A fool.
Very specific.
Have you been to an arcade recently?
Actually, no.
No.
The last arcade I was at was in a bowling alley. Actually, it was one of the.
Local area bowling alley
My bad.
conglomerate.
The local alley of pins that you throw spheres down.
Nice.
We don't have to be that adjacent. We don't gotta like just.
What do you mean?
Yeah, no, yeah, you're right. Carry on. Sorry. It's funny that like arcades by themselves aren't so like. There's local area arcade,
Yeah. up
and
the
then
road.
other than that, it's either in a bar or in a bowling
Well,
alley.
no, there is another arcade.
There's a couple of one.
Really?
Next to local Indian restaurant.
Oh, that's right. I remember because we
haven't been
went
in
to
there.
local Indian restaurant.
it
We were like,
says
look, another
Fish games.
fish games. They're really doubling down on fish games. Yeah,
Is that
they have like
Squid Games.
they have.
We have no idea. So Gavyn,
Yes.
tell us a little bit about yourself. 3 fun facts. Go.
3 fun facts. I'm a big history buff. I am currently a DM to a Dungeons and Dragons campaign, and I work at a facility that produces military equipment.
It's interesting that none of those facts included your wife, who is sitting in the room. How much trouble is that going to get you in?
So why is having a wife an interesting fact? I think that's pretty mundane. Not the wife itself, but having a wife. A lot of people have wives.
I want to hear about how boring I am later.
I didn't say you were boring. I said
Listen.
a lot of people have wives.
Do you want to hear about my 3 fun facts?
Sure.
Thanks for tuning in to Gavyn Digs a Hole.
Can we not get Blake's 3 facts?
Yes.
Just I want to cut that off at the head.
yes.
My 3 facts
My
are
favorite
Hard
holiday,
cut.
Stop.
Arbor Day, hands down. Arbor Day. I own at least 7 ferrets.
Sick.
Number 3, I also am married to your wife.
This is news to me, but welcome.
Woohoo!
When are you going to start paying some of the rent?
I've got enough money tied up here.
Well, I mean, this is a throuple now.
Yeah.
We got bills to pay.
And you, Blake?
Thrice the bills. I already said my 3 facts.
Yeah, no one asked. Anyways,
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, it's rewind time.
and you, Blake? So
Yes.
tell me a little bit more about your job, what you do. What does that look like? What is day to
So
day?
I am what's called a quality engineering technician.
Nice.
So I am like the interface between the engineering department and the production floor. And I just kind of look at circuit boards to make sure that, you know, the missiles or airplanes that they're going into don't explode when they're not supposed to explode, or not explode at all in case of the airplane, in case I had to clarify. And yeah, I just make sure that the quality's right, make sure people are not messing up tens of thousands of dollars worth of military equipment.
Do you enjoy what you do?
Yeah, it's pretty easy. It's what I want to be doing, but honestly, I got a side gig on the weekend where I am part of a local band for their setup crew, and I've been liking that a lot lately too. So.
That's awesome.
I want to know more about Dungeons and Dragons, please.
What specifically, or do you just?
There's
want me to
so much
launch
about-
into a 2.5-hour tirade.
There's so much. Exactly. That's what I love and hate about Dungeons and Dragons. Anytime I talk to someone, I'm like, hey, I'd really like to know more about this. It's like an 8-year degree.
Yeah, for sure.
Like you can kind of dive right in,
You can,
but there's
D&D
like a lot.
What I really like about D&D is it's super accessible. A lot of their materials, like the Player's Handbook, the Dungeon Master Guide, and the Monster Manual, are all free.
Yeah.
All free online. Those are the only 3 books you need to start a campaign. The rest you can do in your head. My campaign right now is all homebrew. I don't use it.
Should we like explain what Dungeons and Dragons is? Wait, do you know what Dungeons and Dragons is?
I can do a
I do
brief
not.
history overview. I'm pretty familiar.
Let me try to explain what Dungeons and
I'll
Dragons
live
is.
fact check you.
And you can just give me like a wrong or that's not wrong.
I'll give it one of those.
So you have a dungeon master, which you are,
yes,
and
Dungeon
they
Master, Game Master. Yeah.
are like a storyteller.
Mm-hmm.
You have you orchestrate like a campaign. You have we're gonna go from here to here is like the ideal end goal, but there's also a bunch of things that can happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because it's based off of dice, a bunch of different dice.
It goes on the D20 system,
Yes.
which not every tabletop RPG is the same. A lot of tabletop RPGs don't even use a D20. Yeah, Dungeons & Dragons uses the D20 system. It's 7 dice. You got your D20, your D12, your D8, your D10, your D6, and your D4.
It's a lot of D.
A lot of D.
The D stands for dice.
It's quite a sausage party. Let me tell you, if you've ever been to one, there is
I
a lot of
know.
D.
My
have-
husband used to host.
I have
No way.
Yeah, he has all of this stuff, and he would have his little friends over every.
I have a girl and night campaign. So
You mean women show up for this
yeah,
type?
as long as you're not a toxic, horrible person.
Sorry, Blake, you can't be there.
Yeah, I was like,
But yeah, no, you pretty much got the just basic overview
Yeah.
of Dungeons and
Good
Dragons.
job, buddy.
I know this much of about a mile long topic.
So
I'm surprised you haven't played before.
I would like to.
We do have guest spots open. I'm looking for bad guys right now.
Oh, I would love to be. Oh, could you imagine? Bad guys.
There's one right here. Introducing.
Who am I?
Maleficent.
Maleficent. I thought it was Valicant.
Have you never seen a Disney film?
I don't know who does she play? Who is she tormenting?
Sleeping Beauty?
I could not tell you what happens in it. There's a chick.
She
Wait,
turns
is that with the dwarves?
No, that's Snow White. You need to get up on your game, dude. These movies were out when you were a kid.
He didn't have cable.
You don't have to have cable.
Oh, is
This
she the chick who touched the thing and she
real descriptive?
there was a needle or something?
A needle? I
She
honestly,
touched the end
to
of a
be
thing.
completely honest with you, I don't know how she was asleep. I just know that Maleficent is Sleeping Beauty and that she turns into a dragon.
Needle, guys. She poked the needle.
Resident Disney expert, my wife.
She touched the thing.
Bless you.
There was a thing, and they were like,
Poison on it.
if she touches the thing, it's gonna happen. And she touched the thing, and it happened.
And she was
And
kissed.
and this
Kind of-
person had something to do with it.
It's kind of like the same story of Snow White, just with a different character.
And
list.
and no dwarves.
Correct.
And
the
then,
dwarves are
and then
completely
some dude's like, well, if you're not gonna kiss her, I
I
will.
mean, there's problematic overtones over on that one. That's
There's
all
no
I'm
one
gonna
here to
say about
stop
that.
me, I guess. Yeah, when you really, when you think about it, what a dark, I
You know,
mean,
she's only 15.
what such a dark,
The
I mean,
old-
we live in a world now where we have Game of Thrones and stuff like that, and I mean, if you've seen any episode of Game of Thrones,
I have not.
You haven't seen a single one?
Nope.
you could watch a trailer and probably infer that you should not show this to a 9-year-old child.
That's fair.
I mean, it is rated M,
TVMA.
TVMA, whatever TV ratings
So
are.
that would suggest, yeah, a pretty good indicator.
Yeah.
But Dungeons and Dragons, the big thing about Dungeons and Dragons that I like is the collaborative storytelling element. And a lot of I wouldn't say a lot of, some dungeon masters take. It's really supposed to be a cooperative game that everyone plays together. It's not the
Right.
dungeon master versus the players.
Yeah.
Which kind of old school D&D, like first edition and all the way up to 3.5 was like that.
Yeah.
So a lot of old school D&D players are still very confrontational and want to kill the party.
Oh.
Personally, I love it when players add to the world. I do an improv type campaign. I have a basic outline of the world I want, and I love the players to add to it. I feel like that
Yeah,
makes them more involved.
Because you don't want to have barriers
right.
too much, because then it's where's the fun in
You
that?
have to have rules, because if you don't have rules, then it's not
Yeah,
fun. But you
yeah.
don't want too many, because then it's not fun.
Then it's not fun. There's a too much, too many.
And you can do crazy stuff like my favorite class is Warlock. They get access.
Is this a character that you've had for years?
No, I actually haven't had anybody to play with me steadily enough to play for years. I just know a lot about D&D.
Because I've heard people have characters that they've made and
There's
they
this-
bring to other parties
There
and
is
stuff
a guy
like that.
who has a D&D campaign that's been running for 25 years, and it's from
Gosh.
first edition or from Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, which is second edition. It's moved so long that it doesn't even use D&D mechanics anymore, and grown men cry when their characters are killed. This is how serious it can get.
The closest I've got to Dungeons and Dragons, other than it being played in my house, is watching Stranger Things.
And that's where a lot of people get it, which I like the mainstream aspect of it. More people in
Yeah.
the hobby, the better.
Yeah.
It's kind of bringing it, not back up, because it's been.
It's not very popular, though.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of everywhere. There's a whole D&D section at Target.
Oh.
That didn't happen.
Nice.
So,
Perhaps we should try it.
Perhaps we
dice, just to let you know, dice are an
I said
addiction.
perhaps.
perhaps
Perhaps and perhaps.
add it to the list.
Yeah. Right
Dice.
after pickles.
I have so many dice that I don't need just because I think they look cool.
I feel like that's one of those the hobbies within the hobby.
Yep, exactly.
For sure.
And some things that some people are superstitious with D&D and some people aren't. I think it's more fun to be superstitious. So I like to have good dice and bad dice.
What's a good dice and what's a bad
dice
dice?
that consistently roll well? You're
Oh,
rolling,
like kind of a loaded die, or
it's not loaded. It's just one that you happen to roll high rolls with.
Oh, okay.
So that's your good die. And you want to get all your bad rolls out first. You
Yeah.
want to roll a couple D20 a couple times before the game starts, because you'll roll a 10, a 2, and a 7.
Do you do everything by hand, or do you use a?
I use computers and stuff.
Oh.
All my players use D&D Beyond for their character sheets. It's just a lot easier that way.
I've seen people that use those like towers that they drop dice in.
Oh,
and
I have a
stuff like
dice
that.
tower, yeah.
There it is. See, I think everybody's got one. Cassie,
They're
do you have
super
a dice
convenient.
tower
I do not.
that you know of?
That's very true. There is a cabinet right by my liquor cabinet with all the Dungeons and
I'm-
Dragons stuff.
I'm sure if you really tried hard, you could use part of your cat tower as a dice tower.
So you'd have to hollow it out. You do know how they work, right?
It has a tunnel aspect. There's a hole in one part.
What about the cats?
What about them? They're part of the element.
That's where they live.
They like add to the like. Oh, look, it's a 7, and then like Philip comes along and he's like, meow, and it's like, no, now it's a 11.
That was a
Do you know
terrible
how-
Philip
do
impression.
You know how awful that would be to play at the table?
If a cat came along and
Yeah,
was
it
like,
just messed up your like. You got a cool narrative roll that you got a nat 20 on, and now the cat makes it a 2.
meow.
I don't like the cat idea.
The cat's like, and I pillage the village.
I'm out. I will not be funding the cat idea.
and just because of that, I'm out. Do you ever find aspects where of like your day-to-day life that you're like, oh, this would be good, like Dungeons and Dragons? Like, what's your inspiration for like making a good campaign or taking a campaign and like making it better?
So I do a lot of. I have ADHD, so I do a lot of.
I'll drink to
daydreaming at
that.
work.
Yeah.
So most of that just comes from stuff that I make up that sounds cool. Other stuff comes from inspirations from other like D&D podcasts that I listen to or like movies and stuff. So it's just kind of a hodgepodge of whatever I'm kind of feeling.
Nice.
The campaign I'm on now, it's a civil war had ended 600 years ago, and the two archmages from the sides were romantically involved before the war.
Yes.
And then the war broke out, and they separated, and one of them turned into a lich, which liches are like ancient or wizards.
Can't say that word on this podcast. Josh will
Ooh, la, la, la,
Josh
la.
will censor it out. I found that out the hard way.
But liches are essentially just super powerful wizards that gave up their humanity for power.
Oh, like Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah,
That's how he-
exactly.
yeah, yeah.
Well, no, Mark Zuckerberg's more like a reptoid,
Oh, okay.
not like an ancient skeletal witch being.
Yeah, he has no bones. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, you need bones to be a lich.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's a requirement.
So you said the word pillaging, and it reminded me of something.
Go for it.
Have you ever seen the show What We Do in the Shadows?
I've heard of it. I've seen the ads on Hulu.
It is my new show of choice of the week. And last night I made Blake watch. How many episodes did you finish the second one?
I started the second one. I didn't finish it, but I want to try to make it because now I'm kind of like, oh, I want to see like, I want to see. I hope they win their thing.
It's really good,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so it's a mockumentary style TV show
Okay, I like that.
about vampires.
In like
Yeah,
in
no,
today.
That used to be a.
It was a movie.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
a
no,
movie.
I know exactly what you're talking
That
about.
was released in 2015.
No
by-
way, really? What?
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Did I say 15? I meant 14.
Yeah, no, it was a
2014.
movie first.
Yeah,
No
Hilarious
way.
movie, yeah.
it was a film.
Is it like
what-
still out there?
Yeah, you can
What's
find
the
it.
Wow.
proper pronunciation? Taika
Taika
Waititi?
Waititi.
Taika Waititi.
Are you familiar with the person?
No.
He is behind the
He did Thor 3.
3 and 4.
He's Korg.
He's Korg, the rock dude from Thor 3.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He did Jojo Rabbit. He did that pirate show.
Did he do Free Guy too, or was he just in it?
He was
in
in
it.
it.
Free Guy, but
Probably produced it.
yeah, he probably did because he's a pretty big. Anyways, so he is the executive producer of the TV show,
Okay.
but he was also in the film too. But he's
That's pretty good.
So far, he's been in one episode of the TV show. Anyways, it is my new obsession. So one of the characters' name is Nandor, the
Mm-hmm.
Relentless, and he's known for pillaging villages.
What's he do now in the modern day, though?
He's a vampire, so he sleeps all day, and then during the night, it's like I don't even know how to explain it. It's very funny.
I was gonna say it would be pretty funny if he's like a mellowed out,
No,
yells at
he's
the
like
sky
very
because he wants to pillage,
very
but can't.
type A, like wants everything to be
Oh,
in order. He likes the
but he did
control.
pillaging. That's funny.
So
It's
it's
good-
very it's I don't know how he ended up the way he is, but to give you an example, the episode I just watched earlier today, he wanted to check his email for the first time in 10 years. So he logged onto his Hotmail account and he got one of those, what are they called? The spam emails where it's like, if you don't forward this to 10 people,
Oh, the chain mail.
bloody
yeah,
chain mail. Thank
Yeah.
you. Bloody Mary is going to come and kill you and rip you to shreds. So the episode is just them walking around their house, basically trying to figure out how to forward this email
Oh my
to 10
God.
other people. And it's really stupid. I'm not going to lie. Like,
It's,
it
it's
is.
a stupid funny
That's my
because
humor,
Yeah.
though. I love
Yes.
that.
like the second I hope this isn't too much. It's the second episode. In the show, the first season, how is like what, a year or so old?
2019.
Okay, so if you haven't seen it by now, this is your spoiler. Whatever.
Wow, you're rude.
So he's a pillager, and
Yeah.
like the one vampire comes in and he's like, we need you guys to take over America, or like the new world. And he's like, cool, how do we do that? And the one guy's like, well, you have to go to city council. So like they go to a city council meeting, and it's just such a goofy like,
Yeah.
it's
But the funniest story arc of the whole show is that there's two different types of vampires, right? There's the typical night walker vampire,
like suck your blood. Yeah.
and then there's a psychic vampire, also known as an energy vampire.
Oh yeah, I know about those. They drain your emotions and stuff like
Yes.
that.
Yes.
Wow. Oh, well, I mean, maybe
Well, I
like
mean, I'm into like horror stuff. Also.
okay, so,
So-
this not too
It's the
unfamiliar.
it's a character. If you saw his face, I don't know what his name is off the top of my head, but you would recognize him if you ever watched The Office.
Mm-hmm.
He played
One of the warehouse guys. I
one
can't
of the
remember
warehouse
his
guys.
names.
I want to say it was Ned. But that
Matt,
doesn't sound
maybe.
right. I don't know. Anyways,
Nate.
Nate. Ah,
He's played by Colin Robinson.
Is that his name in real life?
Yeah. He's also in Better Call Saul.
That's funny because that's his name in the show, Colin Robinson.
That's funny.
And it's one of those things where they never refer to him by his first name. He is first name, last name.
Nope, it's Mark Prosh.
what
Mark Prosh.
Oh,
is his name?
It is the actor's name.
okay.
Sorry. All the things on the internet say Colin Robinson, but it.
Yeah. It's just really funny.
It's and like such a good character to be that because
Oh, I
and he
know.
does a really good job of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, what a like I couldn't think of another person.
So this was a win in my book because Blake constantly takes a poodle on everything that I love.
I'm very harsh.
And he's very harsh. And this is the first time that he was ever able to consume something that I was like, wow, I really like this. And he didn't instantly just
Take a massive
smush it
dump
like
on
a
it.
bug.
Immediately poke a
Well, do you think that's because you don't want to waste your time on something that you personally don't find entertaining?
No, I think he's just very critical about
Oh, so
everything
he's
and
I'm
just
everything.
mean.
quite
yeah,
critical.
Gotcha.
very true.
Okay.
He is very, very critical.
Which is super weird because like I don't know, Josh.
Which
I'm not
brings up a
critical
really good
person, am I?
point.
Yeah, I'm super chill. I'm the coolest cat
So
around.
yesterday we were in the gym and we get into a very heated argument about casual Mexican chains.
Fast casual Mexican.
This does seem like an argument you would have.
There's a guy sitting next to us. You know, we're pumping the iron and we're going back and forth. So I'm just going to say it. I personally think that Moe's is much better than
I was going to say
Chipotle.
before you even say yours,
But-
I want your top
Ah.
5 Mexican eateries from the whole spectrum.
You're gonna be upset with me.
Go
I
for
don't
it.
feel like
And
that's
number one's Taco Bell, even though it's not like Mexican. I understand that it's not Mexican food.
I don't hate that.
I'm
I
not
love
upset.
Taco Bell.
I a true artist.
And honestly, the Moe's Chipotle debate, very topical. I enjoy that. Depends on the mood for me, really.
Okay, that's fair.
If I think Moe's has better queso. And if
I
I'm
agree.
looking for a big old cheesy,
Yep.
like sloppy burrito that's just like, oh, then I go to Moe's. But if I'm looking for something that's not going to make me feel terrible, I go to Chipotle.
When I go to Chipotle and
I
I
ca-
look
I-
at their
I can agree
toppings,
on
I
that.
feel just so sad for them. They just look very
Okay,
sad
that-
to me.
that-
When you-
they're not sad. The Chipotle toppings are pretty dang good.
They're good. Their presentation is not great.
Very true.
It
That's
looks
what-
like cafeteria.
I'm not talking about their flavor. I'm talking about when I look at them. I'm like,
Right, yeah.
wow, this
Why-
is not appealing to me.
If I get a to-go order for a bowl, I just shake it up anyway.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it looks
Yeah,
Fair.
they put a dollop of whatever
Yeah.
on it. I'm like, cool, that's
Okay,
gonna be mixed in
let
anyway.
him continue his listing.
Taco
Taco
Bell?
Bell?
Chipotle, Moe's trade the two,
inter
like, you know,
swappable.
they're swapped
Fair.
between 2 and 3. What other fast casual?
Tijuana
Mexican-
Flats?
I don't like T Flats. T Flats
Well,
doesn't even make the top
Okay,
five.
so this is very, very good. Very good. This is what we talked about yesterday.
I don't like T Flats.
What is
So-
it? Is it because they have crushed ice as the default ice?
No,
No, I
that's
love
the
crushed
only
ice.
redeeming quality
I
that
would-
Is
they
it because
have.
they offer churros?
Why are
Also
you
a redeeming
listing
quality.
positives?
Yeah.
I don't.
Free?
These are just things I know that
Their
make them
flavor
stand
isn't there
out.
for me. They just seem to be
It's
like.
bland.
But what about
It's
the
boring.
salsa, the spiciness, the whole
If you make your food good, you don't need a salsa bar.
It's part of the appeal.
May I critique that?
Go for it. This is a free form of exchanging of ideas.
I don't know about that. You're both wrong.
There
so-
are people who just instantly like sauce, right?
Mm-hmm.
People are sauce people. I'm not typically a sauce person, but I will put hot sauce on nearly anything. So, but I always try my food before I put it on because that's respectful, right? Someone put some effort into this. Tijuana Flats, you can put makeup on an ugly pig and it's still a pig.
Lipstick on a pig, yeah. I mean, yeah, no, I agree. Tijuana Flats does not do it for me.
Tijuana Flats could really benefit from these 3 things: salt, pepper, and a squeeze of lime. Like they really
Honestly,
are.
yeah.
They're
That's
pretty. Like
very
ketchup
fair.
is like a blessing to them.
Their
I'm
chips
sure.
are good. They're always
Their
pretty
chips
well
are good.
seasoned.
Another fast casual chain that we have, it's a local fast casual chain, but they have a location over on between the big orange hardware store and the big blue hardware store.
Say the name and then.
I just think it's funny to say it like that.
Yeah, that is
No.
funny.
I want you to describe it without saying it, and I want to see if I can figure it out. Between the orange and blue over here.
No, it's in my
Your
local
side of
area,
town?
my side of town. It's by the railroad tracks, by that flooring outlet with all the tile and the granite that's always stored outside.
Yeah, I don't know what this is referring to.
Oh, it changed names within the past.
it
like,
did.
you know what?
I really like them.
I was really blown away. Again, here's a really odd indicator about you're about to have a good meal. Okay?
Whoa!
Sorry, Josh.
$1!
It'll go in the thing. $1 in the add it to my tab. They gave me a meal on a paper Dixie plate, and I was like,
That's how you know.
this is gonna slap.
They don't spend money on the silverware; they spend money on the food.
Exactly. Yeah, I was like, they put their money where it matters.
Yep. So all this being said, we're having a very heated conversation in the gym, right?
Understandable,
About this. I make the bold statement, I don't know why we spend any time together. I'm referring to Blake and I, of course. Because we have absolutely nothing in common. So every time we spend time together, I just wonder why we continue to spend more time together.
You expand each other's experience.
And the gentleman next to us on the bench starts laughing very hard
Yes.
at that.
Good.
We had half a mind to be like, sir, if you like this rapport,
Sir, please
there's
chime in.
more where that came from.
Why didn't you
There's
ask?
the podcast.
Just curious.
Because we were just
I like-
really too
Yeah.
involved in the argument,
Understandable,
and
right?
Old to my
neither of us
age
were willing to
on every social media,
back down.
Patreon,
Right?
If you were the guy who was at the gym,
local area gym,
please.
and we look familiar. I don't know if I
We
look
need- we
familiar.
need
I'm
your
wearing
input.
makeup right now, but if this kind of looks familiar,
We need the input. We need your
Then
Moe's
please.
or Chipotle.
email us at. Josh will maybe impose the email here.
Anyways, with all that being said, Blake and I have set up some boundaries where we're no longer allowed to talk to each other or make direct eye contact because all that means is it's taking away content from the
for
podcast.
fear of loss of content.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I see.
And we decided on a safe word.
And we had some which we said several times in the last 5
Well,
minutes.
we said it in context. If we were talking about, like, I don't know, if we were in the middle of the Muppet Lego build,
Yeah.
and I said the word, you would know that I'm
Yeah,
not
but we are
talking
filming
about.
content, so why would you need to use the code word to tell me to stop talking because it's valuable content?
Why do we need a code word?
It's for
Because
when we spend time
Is
together.
me saying, like, no, we should save this conversation for
how
later?
do you
Not enough?
understand your own safe word
Yeah,
system?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm all gas, no brakes. I've never had a safe word before. Sorry.
You referring to the YouTube channel there?
Do we need to put, like, a TVMA thing? I'll put that in the disclaimer before the episode airs.
Thank you for proving that I'm right. Is all I have to
Wait,
say.
did we get to number 3?
So 2 and 3 were Moe's and Chipotle.
Yeah. Moe's
interchangeable.
Chipotle.
Number 4 is the local chain.
Local?
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm gonna put the local chain at 2.
Okay.
I was
I'm
gonna
keeping
say-
its number
Fair.
1 slot for Taco Bell, even though it doesn't technically meet the definition.
Listen,
They are fast.
on board.
And I've gone in there and
They're
Less
super,
than this.
Super casual.
yeah.
So okay.
My sobriety
so-
changes, the location does not.
So Taco Bell, local, Moe's, Chipotle, interchangeable. So we only need one more.
One
right?
more. What's your anchor?
I guess I'll just put Tijuana Flats at 5.
Blech.
Because like
it
bottom.
used to be so much better
Yeah,
than it is.
it did.
Something happened.
Something happened.
Something happened.
Those damn UCF alumni.
Is Tijuana Flats local?
It was
a
created
quasi-local?
at UCF. Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure. Everyone I go to, I'm like, wow, there's from local sports team person. And
Yeah.
other local sports team person. Like a picture on the wall.
I think they franchised pretty well.
I think the first one, Tijuana Flats, was either in like Jacksonville or something like that.
No, it was in the
Like-
city that UCF is in.
You could Google where UCF is.
Oviedo.
Alvita? Velveeta?
Or at least that's where they came up with the idea. I back down. I back down if I'm wrong on that one. I will not die on this hill.
Winter Park, Florida.
Wow.
I was close. Hello.
Geographically close. It's tough to rank something like that with such a very similar, like Italian places. Like
Talking about like Papa John's.
That's a conversation I'm not even like equipped to.
I'm gonna ask you to unplug your mic for the rest of the show.
So you're more of a Pizza Hut guy when it comes to Italian.
How are we diving into the deep end here, buddy?
Let's talk about.
I can spit some horrifying history facts.
Okay, can I throw my 2 cents in about history?
Yeah.
I think history is fascinating, and anyone who can study it and learn from it is incredible. Way to go! Like you're a better person than me. Exhibit A.
It's true.
My transcripts will not show otherwise. I cannot I'm not like a history cool Civil War, that was awesome. Like, what did we learn from that?
Was it awesome?
Like I think it's from a historical point of view. Is it? It's cool. Not that it happened. It's cool that something like that happened.
We're going to the Blake Digs a Hole podcast now.
I hope you brought your flashlights, baby, because we're going deep.
I brought my miner's helmet.
Yeah. I think history is incredible. It's fascinating. I would like to know more about it, but I can't retain stuff like that.
Well, is there any topic specifically you want to know about?
I think, and this ties to I don't want to talk about movies, but I think the movies that I've seen about either of the world wars, I'm like, wow, I can't believe that happened, and I didn't read about that in a history book.
I can go into the political atmosphere of the time. I know a lot about that, about the early World War I.
Carry on.
So people kind of think...
Give us a start date.
So start date,
Or a star date for us Trekkies listening.
Ew.
Yeah, that's right. This is a Star Wars podcast. Get out of here, Trek nerds.
Stuff really started to heat up 1913.
Where am I?
Yes, which is 4 years before 1917 was made. Don't fact check me on that. Sam Raimi.
Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
You're such a pretty girl.
Times Blake was right, and a 1.
I'm not super good with the years in terms of when everything happened. I can go into the process. So it really started to heat up after the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. It didn't. A lot of people think it happened immediately after that, but no, there was a lot of breakdown and
tension building.
Yeah, it's the spark that lit the fire, but there was people dumping gunpowder out in front of a fireplace for a long time.
Yeah.
So this really started because Austro-Hungary wanted the land that Serbia occupied. At the time, Serbia was a very small country. Still are a very small country, but everything's kind of broken up there now.
If you ever look at a map there and you realize how many countries there are
it's because of World War I and World War II.
that area. I mean, shoot.
They did a lot of that in the war.
Yeah.
So. Konrad von Hotzendorf is the name of a Austro-Hungarian general, widely believed to be the reason World War I started.
Just check your imaginary watch.
No, a wig hair fell onto my arm, and I thought it was a bug.
Oh.
Sorry.
So a name that I've never heard of before.
Yep, it is the person who is oftentimes in historical texts given a majority of the blame for the war. Konrad von Hotzendorf. He looks about as early 1900s German as you can think he does.
I'm just gonna.
It's exactly that.
There he is.
To him, Serbians were trash people, essentially, something to be wiped out to occupy the land. But the Kaiser at the time was not about that. He didn't see the reason to engulf the continent in war over a tiny state of people, especially when Austro-Hungary at the time had such military power. This had been going on for close to a decade, which with every time this was brought up to the parliament, Franz Ferdinand would shoot it down, essentially. He was the guy preventing the war, which is why when he was assassinated,
whoa, okay.
Konrad von Hotzendorf was able to play political games to get the war rolling. It wasn't the Black Hand that started the war, it was Konrad von Hotzendorf.
The Black Hand, for those following along at home, are the people in Skyrim who approach you with assassin contracts.
No. I mean, they are a group of Serbian assassins. They were a political terrorist group at the time, and they didn't like Franz Ferdinand.
Connect those dots.
It was a pretty elaborate assassination scheme. They messed up the first attempt. They shot at him and missed.
I saw that movie. Was that?
There's a movie about that?
I think so.
I didn't know about that.
I'm going to go ahead and insert the movie Anthropoid. I think that's about that.
Never heard of it.
That was a great movie.
But they miss the first time they try and shoot him. The car takes off. They throw a grenade. That also misses, but it disables the car, and then they kill him. So it was like a whole big thing when they tried to kill him. They really wanted this guy dead. I still don't know why. That's just a research blind spot on my part. But that really kicked off Austro-Hungary just having the full send for the war, and Germany being bound to them via many various treaties was kind of like, we don't really want this to happen. Please don't do this.
Yeah.
But they invaded Serbia anyway. Now, what they didn't know at the time was Serbia was the only military to have fought in a modern conflict. And when I say modern conflict, I'm talking about machine guns and artillery.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, militaries are used to cavalry charges across open fields with horses.
Yeah.
No one really got the scope of how horrendous this conflict was going to be.
Yeah.
So whenever Austro-Hungarian troops would try and get into Serbia, keep in mind, Austro-Hungary was probably 5 times the size of Serbia, would get kicked out every time. They never gained any ground because they would get pounded by artillery or ripped up with machine guns.
That's like a little bit into the future. Isn't there a time when like Germany was like, let's try to invade Russia, and they were like, we can't get through the mud or something like that?
So skipping a little bit forward in time.
And like a little bit too, it's probably like 2 decades or something like that.
Like
Yeah.
a long time. Germany.
Quite a leap.
Germany just, Hitler took too long to invade
He, like,
Moscow. He circled Moscow rather than
He like
taking it.
waited for the winter or something
He
like
didn't
that.
wait for the winter intentionally. He wanted to capture Stalingrad first, which was just a human live pit.
Mm-hmm.
But this is like 30 years post World War One. But yeah, similar situation, just bad planning
Yeah.
and underestimating your enemy. But when that started to kick off, Serbia was bound to Russia, and Russia started to instigate with Austro-Hungary, which made Germany tell Russia to back off. France and Russia at that time were also involved in a treaty. So Germany was at this point where they're looking at a war on 2 fronts. They're already not real good friends with Russia because Austro-Hungary is trying to pull them into a war with Serbia. Meanwhile, France is on the other end of Germany saying, if you do anything to Russia, we're going to declare war. So this
Heavy stuff.
This, keep in mind, is like a year or two, or is it a couple months before the war, or a few months before the war happened?
World War
One. So you have all these tensions, these treaties of uniting these countries together. So
Yeah.
of course, it's just one small spark to.
It
kick this
yeah,
whole
it seems
thing
like
off.
there's like a lot of tension, but also like a lot of not like behind the scenes kind of like, hey, you said that we and you said that we wouldn't.
Well, it
but
was
like
it was kind of exactly like that. There's
Yeah.
a lot of like, yeah, I don't have to do this, but I'm doing it anyway, and you have to help me.
yeah, because of thing you signed.
So
You know,
when
yeah.
Russia started to mobilize troops, Germany got a little anxious and also just started to move troops, and Russia and Germany got into a conflict, which did not immediately provoke France. But because of the worry of a war on 2 fronts, Germany was telling France was telling Belgium that they were going to cross through Belgium to get to France, because it was better than facing the Maginot Line, which
Yeah.
was just a heavy fortified border between France and Germany, which pretty impenetrable for the day. World War II, not so much.
Yeah.
They're talking about going to Belgium, and that's when the UK got involved, because they said that they were they were protectors over Belgium.
Yeah.
And that's what really kicked off when Germany started sending troops to Belgium to get into France. That's when the UK sent over its British Expeditionary Forces, and that's when the first major battles started to happen. From 1914 to 1917, trenches were dug from coast to coast, essentially, on the continent, because the lines would just try and run around each other to rout.
Yeah.
Trench warfare.
Messy stuff.
It's, to be quite honest with you, it is the closest thing to hell on earth that I can think of.
Yeah.
Coming from somebody who has never been in combat. But
Yeah.
you had, in the instance of Gallipoli. Are you eating into the microphone?
No.
So I want to know where, like, is this like how long of a like history in general? How long of like is this like a hobby of yours, just history in general? Yeah.
My YouTube recommended is full of like a bunch of different history
Yeah.
channels and stuff
Like
that.
no 8-minute long videos. They're all like
They're
hour
like-
and a half long.
Yeah, like 23 to 45 minute long videos on the Bronze Age collapse and stuff like that.
What's like interesting about history to you?
A lot of what happened in the past set us up for where we're at now.
Yeah.
Like a lot of so when World War I ended, Germany was footed with the bill, even though they didn't want to start the war.
Right. Yeah.
They weren't even invited to the talks to decide that.
Mm-hmm.
So of course that bred a lot of resentment amongst the European continent, or bred a lot of resentment inside Germany, which allowed fascism to rise to the extent that it did. And that never would have happened if Germany was invited to, because the armistice was just a ceasefire. It was for peace talks. It was never a surrender, but it was treated as a surrender, and Germany got royally screwed in that deal. 'Cause, like I said, they were never invited. All their territory was divided without them being
Shucks
there.
to never be invited.
Amen to that, sister.
But yeah, so history just kind of intertwines with everything we have today.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't get that. Like they think everything happening today is new, but this is stuff that's been going on.
History repeats itself.
Yeah, for hundreds of years.
Mm-hmm.
But with a different flavor.
Right.
And right now we're on Dream flavor from Coca-Cola.
Ugh.
Ew. I know you like that one. I'm sorry.
Dream is okay. I like the outer space one better.
What's the outer space one?
Out of
That was the first
the
one.
Starlight one.
Yeah.
You had it. Well, this seems like a good time, if any, to move on to the candy rating.
I see we got some winners and some losers on the table.
Should we? Which way should we top? Should we start at the top? Go to the bottom. Bottom. Go to the top.
We're going. I mean, why not start from the top and just work our way down?
Started from the bottom. Now we're here.
But from the top.
On the bottom,
Oh.
I would like to put
Reverse Drake.
Whoppers.
Whoppers, not as good as Maltesers. I would put those as like
Do
a
we
D
even-
tier.
Are those even present?
Yep.
Can we get?
Here's one.
I really need.
Oh, and there's 3 in a pack. Perfect. Here we go. Hang on. So here we have, for your consideration, the Whopper. Burger King, don't sue us. One for you, sir.
He has one.
Oh,
There's a
okay.
table full of candy here.
Sorry. One for you, ma'am.
I do not enjoy these.
I can honestly tell you that I don't know what I've had one. I don't know what it
It's
is.
malt. They're chocolate covered malt balls. Maltesers are better. They're the British version. I don't typically care for Whoppers. I would say these are like a D tier candy for me.
Ugh.
I've had one Whopper.
In the same class, I would like
And
to
I'm
put
done.
Milk Duds.
I could add that in there.
Milk Duds are caramel though, right?
Yes, I just
I
think they're
love
not
Milk
very
Duds.
good.
Milk
I think-
Duds are candy. Wait,
Why don't we just go straight to Milk Duds?
this is vague. Candy with chocolate and caramel. What the is that?
It's literally all it is.
Are you kidding me?
I'm gonna go broke on this podcast.
I guess that one's not.
What's the deal
bad. That's
not
with Milk Duds?
What's the deal with Milk Duds?
That's a really good Jerry Seinfeld.
A bee
Thank
tried
you.
to have an intimate relationship with a woman.
So you like jazz?
You like jazz?
You like Milk Duds?
So you like
Where's the milk in this?
I don't like it.
milk chocolate?
Oh, and what's the dud?
You.
The dud is the candy. That's
I don't
what.
know why it's named Milk Duds. I just like the chocolate covered caramel. I love Milk Duds. They're like
Can I have the box? I'm
I
about
went-
to do something gross.
I wouldn't say they're like
I need
the
water.
best. Got Diet Coke.
I dropped the tab in there.
It's fine.
Do you just not like caramel?
I do like caramel. I just don't know
Interesting.
why I don't like these. Maybe
Weird.
I don't like caramel in this
Form.
solid
It is very chewy.
Yeah.
form.
Snickers? The caramel that's in Snickers?
Love Snickers.
Cool. Great.
Snickers are definitely in my top 3 favorite candies.
I think it has to do with proportion. Because this is a hot glue gun dwab thing
So
of
I don't know if
caramel.
we're planning on rating all of these, but we're running out of time.
No,
here.
no, we're-
so I want
we're
you
going.
to pick your favorite
off of this table. I have picked. I'm going to keep it until we all pick.
There are also gummies in the cat,
Oh, what the heck? You're holding out.
like Haribo gummies and stuff like that.
You're lying to me right
No, they're just like
You're lying
they're
to me
really
right
in
now.
there.
now. Again, what's this? More nerds.
Lies.
What'd you call me?
What's that?
More nerds.
I love
What's
nerds.
that?
Do you know what a Haribo is?
More nerds. Oh, there's the gummy, finally. Oh, we got the Happy Cola ones.
I like those.
You're wrong, I'm sorry. It's like your podcast
agree.
and everything, but you're wrong.
You don't like those?
No. Gummies should be worms, bears, animals, not things.
If
That's
it doesn't
fair.
walk on all fours, it doesn't go in my mouth.
Amen.
Yeah, I don't even get that one.
I don't know.
Have
if
you
I can
picked your top tier
confidently
candy?
Guess.
What do you mean?
I'm
What?
not confident about it.
We don't. It's not that we don't.
Confident, you just gotta like it.
We have a
I
good
don't think it's my
selection.
number one favorite candy of all time.
But like, if you went trick or treating and this was your haul,
what would be my favorite one?
Yeah.
Okay, I have 2.
I'm gonna do two too. If she's gonna do two, I'm gonna.
oh, okay. Well, if we're all doing 2, then let's just do.
Okay, from a chocolate class.
Hey, all right, cool. A chocolate and a fruity class. I like
From
that.
a chocolate class, I will choose Snickers.
Solid choice.
Now, this is a good everyday type of candy.
Sure.
Unless you are biologically inferior.
And are allergic to peanuts?
I can back that up a little bit.
What about lactose intolerance?
That
Also
falls under
tracks.
the
Yeah,
that falls
I don't
under the
know,
umbrella
yeah.
of genetically
That's
inferior.
my wife.
Really? Because when I asked you to list 3 fun facts about yourself, you didn't seem to.
I just don't think being married is a fun fact. I think that's just a
Speaking
fact.
of which, if there's any lawyers watching this,
I think I'm being unfairly treated. I love my wife. She's the best thing to ever happen to me.
So I don't care. I don't hate, but I'm not in love with chocolate.
Okay.
So
I feel the same way.
so I like chocolate, but I don't like chocolate candy.
Correct.
Do you have a favorite chocolate class candy?
Yes, and it's not here, but I'm saying it anyway.
Okay.
Reese's.
It
Any
is-
any Reese's.
It is
Like
here.
thousands of Reese's on the.
Wrong.
Oh shoot! Where did you come from?
The table.
Here it is. Reese's. I had it all along. Reese's.
From my chocolate class, I pick Almond Joy.
Get
So-
out.
Love Almond Joy. I
Okay.
love coconut.
One year for Valentine's Day, I didn't have a lover in my life, and my dad got me a 5-pound box of almond
Oh, you're
joys.
so
Gosh.
lucky.
It was my favorite candy
You're
at the
so
time,
lucky.
And now.
but because I ate it, I ate so much of it. It doesn't hit the way it used to, you
That
know.
wouldn't happen
Yeah.
to me.
Will I ever
Guaranteed.
critique it? No. But
There's
do I
nothing
have
wrong
the
with it.
same
you
love
have
with
like
it?
it's reserved.
Yeah, it's like I'll put that one on the back shelf.
Yeah.
Okay, for my sweet
Non-chocolate.
class,
Non-chocolate.
I have chosen Sweet Tarts and Nerds.
So you picked 3.
What sort of bamboozle
Welcome
is
to the
this?
pink room.
Yeah, where rules don't
What
matter
is this? I can't even.
and the points are made up.
What's yours, please?
Mine is Laffy Taffy.
Ugh.
2 reasons. 1, it's incredible.
Laffy Taffy's solid, yeah.
And 2, it comes with 2 jokes.
The jokes are not good. I'm not.
Would you like to hear some?
No, I would not.
Alrighty.
What's yours, Gavin?
Starburst.
What has
Okay,
a
that's fair.
neck, no head, and for nutritional information? Oh,
Wow,
it's
what a
misprinted.
What a punchline.
Oh, what has a neck, no head, and wears a cap? A bottle.
I
Stop.
do like Nerds, but I like the lemonade ones. If anyone has tried those,
I have.
Yeah.
Those
That
are my
takes
favorite
me
type.
back. Do you like the new, I know Savannah does, the Nerds
Clusters.
clusters?
I love.
I love the
them.
Nerds clusters. I do
What?
not like the gummy, like
Okay,
the big.
but
The rope?
I love the rope.
I like the
I'm
rope.
talking
I love
about,
the
there's
Nerds
these-
ropes.
There's these ones that are like jelly beans now, but they don't call them jelly beans.
Oh no, thank you. May I have a bragging
'em.
moment, please?
Go for it. Floor is
So
yours.
remember how I just told a story about a very sad Valentine's Day?
Mhm.
Well, a happy Valentine's Day. It was actually my first Valentine's Day with Logan.
Logan.
And
Paul?
we were doing doing long distance at the time, kind of. It was very interesting.
Because
It
he
was
was in
weird.
California, right?
No.
Nova Scotia.
Like
Have you listened to the podcast?
So he had sent me flowers on Valentine's Day, great. But when I got back into town, he had made a dozen roses out of Nerds ropes and then cut out.
Sweet.
He cut out like little flowers and taped them to the Nerds ropes and then filled the vase with Nerds at the
Oh
bottom.
my gosh.
It was one of the sweetest things that
Wow.
anyone has ever done for
Oh,
me.
you're not sick and tired of nerds yet?
No.
Sweetest.
Blake. Just
Sweetest.
Blake.
Yeah.
Blake. Let it go.
And that's why I married him.
Let it go.
Sweetest.
Let it go.
Sweetest.
Is there anything you'd like to add candy wise?
Yeah, do you have any horror stories of candy like Cassie does? Horror?
What do you mean, like just bad candy, or
Just like if you overdid it.
Yeah.
none that are really coming to mind, honestly. No, I don't really have any
Boring.
like throw up from candy stories. My bad.
I don't know that I ever threw up from candy either. Yes, one
I've
from
always
the
loved
audience.
candy.
From the closet.
Really good horror story. I was small.
This is Sierra, by the way.
My wife, my beautiful wife.
For now.
Wow.
I was small, and this was when during Halloween, after I got done trick or treating, one year the big chocolate corporation Mars did the like glow in the dark wrapping where you had like it had like a joke
Yes.
on it, but
Yeah.
you had to shine it over the light to see what the answer to the joke was.
I do not recall.
I like that novelty.
It's kind of something along those lines. I held it over the light, but I held it over my light a little bit too long and caused a small fire in my bed
Oh my gosh.
from chocolate burning onto the lamp.
Wow.
That is a horror
All
story.
right, that takes the cake. I got it.
candy.
That takes the bar.
Snickers.
The
Like, you
Snickers.
literally just pick any candy name.
Moving on to the Lego Muppet.
You have a show with this guy? What do we got here? So what do I got to do with this thing?
So, if you can guess
No.
before you open it,
You have to guess, right?
Okay.
Before opening it.
Okay.
and if you are correct, or if it's
A
a
No.
duplicate.
If he's correct and we don't have it, we're keeping it. But if you're correct
And we already have it.
and we already have it, but you can also have it if we already have it. So that makes a lot of sense.
There's a lot of
Stipulations
loopholes,
that don't make sense.
stipulations, double backs. I don't know that anyone has correctly identified it from within the bag.
I think so, yeah. I can't tell you, but I know someone has.
At least one.
At least one.
I'm
My
going-
sister.
Was that who it was?
Yeah.
I'm going for the monster drummer. I forget the wild thing. I think I don't know what his name is.
You're so close. You are like tiptoeing around.
Yeah,
the
I know.
name.
It's right on. I can't remember. Can we get help from the
He is wild.
animal?
Animal.
Okay, cool. Now I open it.
Yep.
Yeah, let her rip.
Beyblade. For any of the youngsters out there, it's the Bakugan before Bakugan. The baby. And I was correct.
No way!
Hey!
Wow.
You really jinxed that one, buddy.
Two psychic people.
See, we got right there.
Animal.
You could show that one.
Got like.
Wow.
He's got a.
He's like an end
Where
of
is
an era.
he? There he is.
No, I get to keep him.
Snack attack time.
Is he a double?
He is a double.
Oh,
we do
okay.
have
He
one.
might even be.
So I
A,
would have got him either way.
I think we have gotten him more than anyone
Those chips are
else.
destroyed.
No, this bag is 50% air.
Gavyn, your snack.
Yes.
For your snack, you chose kettle cooked salt and vinegar chips.
Yes.
Specifically,
Yes.
is it more specifically the flavor or more specifically kettle cooked?
I think kettle cooked salt and vinegar chips, and I know this is going to be polarizing because there are people who really don't like salt and vinegar chips.
I love salt and vinegar chips.
I think kettle cooked salt and vinegar chips are the chip. There is not a better chip.
I
love salt.
I like
love
salt.
Vinegar.
I do not like vinegar.
See, you're not a pickle person.
I'm not a pickle person, but we'll save that for
Open the
another
bag,
episode.
Please. I hate it.
I am a brave boy. Here we
These
go.
ones aren't too vinegary.
I got my own hair, my wig hair in my mouth.
This is okay. This isn't as. I don't feel like I'm opening like a 55-gallon drum of vinegar.
See, I love
Like-
those kind.
I don't know.
I love it when my mouth,
This
when
is
my
like-
tongue stings.
This is like the LaCroix of vinegar chips.
Blake, I just want to say I'm very proud of you for overcoming this obstacle because usually when you don't like something, you will never give it another chance.
I'm like a fussy 9-year-old.
You
Yeah.
are. I'm very proud of you.
But I'm 2-0 for.
Yeah,
I
you watched
would.
a new show this week.
I would eat these. I would continue to eat this. Would I buy this entire bag and eat it myself? Probably not all in one
No, but
sitting.
if you're at like a party, you would put it on your
Yeah.
paper plate.
I would probably buy this for a party I'm hosting, perhaps in the future, in an event that involves costumes, which you're invited to. We'll talk about it.
Arbor Day?
Arbor Day Part 2. The tree returns.
See, that's where I cut and draw the line. Arbor Day Part 2 is an unsanctioned holiday. And
Arbor Day
I
Part
support
3.
that.
The acorn
Well,
does not fall far from the
Wrapping
tree.
things up. If you're listening to this, thank you.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment.
Share.
Comment your
And share.
favorite flavor of specific kettle cooked chip down below, and your favorite candy.
Specifically broken down by
Into
chocolate
and
and sweet.
sweet. Those two categories only. All other comments will be removed.
If
That's
we get
not true.
20,000 likes on this video, do we do something crazy like buy a sports car?
If we get 2 likes, we'll buy a sports car.
There you go.
Well, I hope you all have a wonderful Halloween. If you're listening or watching this after Halloween, I hope it was great.
I hope you try a new candy you've never tried before.
I hope
You already said something, Cassie. Come on. What are you?
Yeah, you have a guest
Were you
here.
full of hope? Share it a little bit, will you? Like, it's Halloween. It's Arbor Day. That's what we're all about. The tree of hope cannot grow
The
if
fact
you...
that you would be so rude on Memorial Day. I can't believe you.
The founding fathers did not believe a tree could grow this
It's a
tall.
grand old flag. It's a high flying flag.
Toodaloo.
You're a green old tree.
A big green tree.
Big green tree. Toodaloo.
Toodaloo.